All right. Well, it is Monday. Monday, everybody. This is Angela Hooper Minifield and Damian Johnson with
Hey,
the
hey.
Black Entrepreneurs Institute. Say good morning, Damian.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you are well. We are excited because we are just officially 1 week away from kicking off our uh, business boot camp for minority entrepreneurs, and we are so excited. The feedback that we have been getting from the webinar has been incredible. We already have people jumping into our first cohort, and so if you've not yet had a chance to jump onto our webinar, listen, we are adding tremendous value. We're getting rave reviews. I highly encourage you. We've got a couple more coming up this week. You don't want to miss it. If you're looking to scale your business, or if you're looking to get into business, maybe you've had an idea that you've been toying with. Now is the time, and we want to serve you. And so you want to jump in. Don't miss it. Please do yourself a favor. Get on the webinar. Just come check us out. Test us out and see. Okay.
All right. So, Damian, we're calling today's broadcast our Monday check-in. And this is something that I think we thought was really important, mainly because of just the dynamics that are currently happening in our country today and how things are just, businesses are adjusting. And it doesn't matter really what type of business that you are, right? I mean, we're a part of some entities that are multi-million-dollar companies. Everybody is trying to adjust as it pertains to COVID-19, shutdown, stay in place, social distancing. So this is our Monday check-in. So guys, if you're watching us, post a comment, right? Tell us how you're doing. Tell us what you need to help you. And again, we're not talking about money, right? But maybe it's a way to market your business or a strategy. But we want to hear from you. And part of that is we're going to check in, real briefly. This video won't be long, but we also believe in transparency. And so talk a little bit about how our businesses and life as we know it has been impacted as entrepreneurs, but specifically minority entrepreneurs. So, Damian, I'll go ahead and start first. What many people know is, amongst what I do, right? So my niche is building and equipping supervisors and teams. I do that through a plethora of ways, but that's my core objective. I want you as a supervisor or the supervisors on your team to be better. And then I also know that in turn, that builds a better team within your organization. So, I use coaching, I use assessments, public speaking, training, and things like that. So as a result of COVID, I've lost business, right? There were events and trainings that I was scheduled to do that have been canceled. Now, I can say real clearly that because I had laid a solid foundation, right? Something we talk about often, I put myself in a position to have some alternatives. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it was a tit for tat even balance, but it mitigated what could have been some very uncomfortable periods for my business. And so for me, I am a living example of what can happen to you when you lay some foundations. And then the second thing I want to do, Damian, before I let you kind of tell people how things have been for you, is read a message that was texted to me. And this was out of the blue on Friday. And it said, and I'm reading it to you guys, it says, I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you is in all capital letters, a bunch of exclamation points. And the message says, all of the things you encouraged me and us, because this person was in a group training, to change or improve on is coming into play right now. And I am happy to say I am prepared. And then they ended the message with 2 hearts. Damian, when I received that message last week, it helped me to know that what we're doing is helping other people. We're paying it forward. And so, one, I just thank the person for letting me know that they were okay and their business was able to survive because of some of the foundational teachings and practices we had delivered. But it touched my heart. And so, how have things been for you since everything associated with COVID-19?
Well, Angela, thanks for asking. So I bet even just hearing you read that message, it warms my heart, right? Because sometimes, we do training and we don't always get the feedback immediately, right? But we know that we're doing work that matters. And if ever you had a moment where you questioned your purpose, emails like that and messages like that just kind of reaffirm that the work that we're doing matters and that we're impacting people's lives. Because remember that even when you touch one person, that one person they represent a family, they represent
Yeah.
a community because they have a sphere of influence. So everything that impacts them impacts those that are connected to them. So that really encouraged me to hear you read that because it just affirms that people need what we're offering. But in terms of my business, absolutely, my business has been impacted. I have probably either canceled or postponed all of the training engagements that I have for certainly all of the first quarter when COVID first came in, and second quarter, third quarter. I mean, really, right now, all of the in-person training is looking like in the fall at the best. So I'm so glad that one of the shifts that I made in the last year was to start doing more virtual training. So I still have a meaningful chunk of business that I do that way, where I can meet with people via Zoom or Skype or some sort of technology platform. But what this time is doing for me is that it's giving me a chance to take a step back and to explore some platforms that I had not previously explored and to use some systems. So one of
Okay.
the things that I even got from you is when COVID-19 ends, are you going to be in the same place as you were when it began, or are you coming out better? Because let me tell you, the world is changing around us as we are looking at the this is almost like a catchphrase now. Everybody says we're in unprecedented times, and we are in unprecedented times. The question
Yes.
is, how are you going to up level yourself so that when we get back to whatever the new form of normal is, that you're going to be ready for the marketplace? How are you adding value to your clients right now? What shifts are you making in your business right now to be of service and to be relevant in the new marketplace? And I think if you're an entrepreneur, and if that thinking is not in your awareness, I want to encourage you with love. It's time to wake up. The world is changing, and as entrepreneurs, we have to be flexible and we have to adapt and we have to do it quickly if we want to take advantage of opportunities. Because make no mistake about it, as bad as this is, and we're not making light of the seriousness or the severity of COVID-19, but
Right.
it's important to recognize that whenever things are changing, opportunities are being created. And so you've got to be able to pivot and to shift quickly to capture and to position yourself for the opportunities that will arise on the other side of this pandemic.
Yes, definitely. One of the things that, and I even mirrored this, and this I think falls back on being properly mentored, was my mentor and, someone that I pay for executive coaching and coaching, extended an offer and said, if you guys during this time need to take a break or pause, we can do that. And that meant so much to me, even though, I didn't, feel like I needed to do that in totality. But then in turn, it caused me to do the same thing with my clients, right? To say, you know what? I know things are very uncertain. So how can I serve you? And I think just that sowing goodwill and figuring out different ways to do it is another way we add value to people, because it helps us as business owners to demonstrate to the people that we're doing business with that you're more than just a check.
Right.
You are somebody who I care about, and you are someone that I want to help grow. And so as we look at, the timing right now, and I think we've said this before on another video, but I feel compelled to say it again. When we started this venture, we had no knowledge that anything close to something like this was going to happen, right? I mean, this was something we started talking about at the end of the year, first of the year. And we decided then we were going to launch in the spring. I mean, we did the things to lead up to it. And so what would you say to somebody who's like, well, because of what is happening right now, this isn't the right time for me? What would you say to that?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that there is never a right time or a perfect time to do anything. If,
Mm,
as an entrepreneur, you're waiting for the right time to start something, you're always going to be playing catch up. You're going to be behind the eight ball every single time. You know, Angela, to your point, we started this not knowing that the pandemic was coming. That wasn't even in our awareness. But guess what? What entrepreneurs do is that we get an idea and we take action to birth it. We start imperfectly, we make mistakes along the way, we learn from the mistakes, we course correct, and then we improve upon our offering or our service. So
yeah.
while you're thinking about it, let me tell you, a real entrepreneur would have already failed 3 times and made adjustments and gotten better while you're still thinking about an idea. So if you're thinking that now is not the perfect time, there will never be a perfect time. The perfect time for anything is always now. NOW. No opportunity waits. Yeah, you can write that one down. NOW. No opportunity waits. So you got to start now because you want to be prepared. When opportunity comes, it is too late for you to be preparing. You've got to be prepared and ready when the opportunity comes. And that's what the boot camp is designed to do, is
Yes.
to prepare you, because we're going to be talking about developing systems, laying a solid foundation. We're going to be talking about getting comfortable with sales. I've said this before in another webinar. If you are an entrepreneur, that means that you are in business. If you are in business, the number one goal of being in business is to stay in business and to make a profit. And if you are going to stay in business and if you are going to make a profit, guess what you're going to have to do? You are going to have to sell your product and sell your service. And here's what I'm telling you, the world is shifting, sales is changing, but you are still going to have to sell. And so you have to get comfortable with that idea of how do you sell? How do you position your offer? How do you build rapport quickly? We're going to be talking about getting comfortable with sales. We're going to be talking about how to find your niche, your ideal client. How do you identify your avatar, and so much more. I mean, we've got so much value packed into the boot camp that we're offering that you just have to come to the webinar to check us out to understand what it's all about. I don't want to give it to you all right now because I can feel myself getting excited when I think about the value that we have rammed into our boot camp. Listen, it is absolutely going to be worth your time. It's going to be worth your investment, and you're going to come away better, more equipped for this changing world, especially if you're a minority entrepreneur.
So Damien, what, yesterday, I think it was, CBS News shared and wrote a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just share it real briefly here, just so people can see what I'm talking about. So definitely let me know if you can see my, can you see this, Damien?
Yes, it just came up.
So CBS News yesterday published an article that said up to 90% of minority and women owners were shut out of the Paycheck Protection Program. That's what experts fear. And so I'm
Wow.
just going to scroll down and hopefully it'll refresh really quick to a couple of things. And so here it says roughly 95% of Black-owned businesses, 91% of Latino-owned business, 91% of Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander-owned businesses, and 75 of Asian-owned. So basically over 90% for Black, Latino, and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander. And 75% of Asian-owned businesses stand close to no chance of receiving a PPP loan through a mainstream bank or credit union.
Wow.
Damien, when I saw this blew my mind. I want to also point out something else it said. It spoke to the fact that when we talk about, because the Paycheck Protection Program is for businesses who have employees. On average, it says minority and women-owned businesses have 30% fewer employees compared to male or white-owned businesses. Their average sales are 50 to 90% of their counterparts. Those numbers right there, I don't even have to say anything else, right? That to me was like, oh my gosh. But a couple of other things that they mentioned in this article was the fact that a lot of it was because we did not have relationships with banking institutions that were lending the money. And this just really shook me yesterday when I saw this article for a couple of reasons. One of the core tenets, the first thing we talk about coming out the gate is the solid foundation. I
Mhm.
read a different article where a man talked about how he had been successful in acquiring the PPP funds because when the SBA started asking for follow-up questions, where's your documents on this, documents on that, guess what? He had it. And so I say all this to say, a lot of people are wondering a couple of things. Number one, why is there a Black Entrepreneurs Institute? Why does it matter? Why are you focusing and zoning in on minority-owned businesses? This article is explaining to you why we are. Because they need us. They need us. So it's not that we don't care about other businesses, as we've said a ton of times. It's because we know where the work has to be done.
Right.
So, you and I talked about this a little bit before this call, but, just what were your reactions when you first read this?
I was saddened but not surprised. Because when you look historically at statistics, you know that minority-owned businesses tend to not have as much opportunities or not do as well as their counterparts, right? And this speaks to, I think, really an absence of information, because you have a lot of entrepreneurs that got an idea and started a business, but didn't lay it on the right foundation. They don't have their paperwork in place. They don't have systems in place. They don't have processes in place. And so when something like this happens, where you need to have all of your documentation in order and all of your ducks in a row, we tend to be left behind, not because our businesses aren't good businesses, or not because our business concept is faulty, but because we just didn't start it off on the right footing. We started off with an idea and a passion, and we set off, but we may not have laid the right foundation. And obviously, some of the reason why so many minority businesses are not able to get the funding is either because of lack of banking relationships, which is one of the things that we talk about in our boot camp, or because of lack of the proper paperwork, having that paperwork in order. If you're going to be in business, you got to have that credibility, and that credibility looks like you laying that solid foundation. And so I just know that there's a difference that we can make for minorities, for entrepreneurs of color, with closing some of that gap, because we had to pay thousands of dollars to get the information to begin with, to launch our own businesses. And so we want to be able to close that gap of information, so that way entrepreneurs of color can be able to take advantage of all of the opportunities available, because this COVID-19 is impacting so many businesses. And if you're a smaller entrepreneur, you're probably even more adversely impacted by it, and you should not be shut out just because you didn't start things off on the right footing, or just because you just didn't know. Some of the reasons why they're not able to when the minorities are not able to take advantage of the Paycheck Protection Program is because of just pure ignorance, meaning they're just unaware of the steps that they need to take to be able to qualify for it. And again, here is an opportunity that is available, but almost right now it's really too late to prepare. So we don't want you to be we want you to have everything set up the right way, have the right information that will save you time, effort, money, and most importantly, heartache as you look to build your business.
Well, what we know is this, the good things we can say is when so far money has run out, more money has been added. And so as this, we continue to see the outcomes of this, and I think it's so much that's unknown. What we want to hope for is get it right now. There's a saying that says it's never too late to do the right thing. There's never a wrong time to make the right decision. And so if you were by chance or are by chance one of these businesses that did not set the foundation right, guess what? We can unpack some of that for you and get you going. Because the lady who sent me that text message, she had been in business when I met her. We had to go back and unlearn and undo some things in order to get her where she is now. But guess what? A year later, I'm getting the message that says, thank you, Angela, because I can apply for some of this. I can do some of these things. I am in a better position now than I was a year ago because I took this course with you, right? And that's that second part, right? Don't worry about what you didn't do already. What can you do better moving forward? And that's my attitude even about my business. I did a lot of stuff right, but not everything, Damien.
Right.
There's some learns for me here too that I am going to make sure that I'm better prepared the next time. And
Mhm.
so before we leave, because again, we try not to hold people so long, but I just really felt it's Monday morning, right? Or now we're right past lunch on the East Coast. And a lot of people, are pushing through, some things have changed. A month ago, they were essential. This month, people are saying, well, maybe you're not as essential, quote unquote, as we thought you were, which, piggybacks on my point that everybody's essential. It's just what you do may no longer be required, right? So let's get that languaging correct. But as we, get ready to sign off today, I think I just want to also just highlight to people that being in a community that other people that have figured it out. Damien talked about being ignorant, right? To certain things. You just don't know what you don't know. There are things I'm ignorant to. I am ignorant to heart surgery, right? I have no clue on how to do it. You should never want me to do that for you. But there are some things that I know, and some of those things I've learned the hard way, as in bump my head up against the wall. We're here to help you overcome some of that. And then the last point I think needs to be made, in my opinion, then I'll turn it over to you, is there's no better time to start doing something for you in spite of what's happening in the economy. Because guess what? People are still spending money. This past weekend, the NFL raised over $100 million. Again, going towards COVID. But I guess my point is, if money wasn't there, people wouldn't be able to donate it. When we saw pictures of Atlanta opening up, there were lines and lines of people to get their hair done, their nails done. Guess what? People are still doing things. People have money. And so what is that service that you can offer them and that we can help you leverage or tweak if you already have a business to get your share of the income or the money that people are going to spend anyway? So that to me is the last point that I would like to make. And then I'll let you make the final point and we'll wrap it up and just invite people to the next 2 webinars.
Yeah, so I think you made the point perfectly, Angela. Here's what I would say. We our intent in doing this video was to check in with you. So as an entrepreneur of color, what are you struggling with? Just place the comment in the chat, and let us know what what you're working on. How are you pivoting? Where are you feeling challenged right now? Where are you feeling squeezed? Where have you lost revenue? We want to know how you're doing. And I promise, if you'll comment in that chat, we will respond to you. So post a comment on this feed. Let us know what you're working on or toward, or where you're struggling, where you think you need the help most. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe you're trying to come up with an idea to add value to your clients. Maybe you recognize that you don't have your systems in order and you're trying to figure out a way to leverage your time better. Let us know what your areas of opportunity for growth are. And let us know also what you're planning to do during this time to shift, to up-level yourself, and to position yourself for the other side of the new normal. We know that life will return. We're not going to always be in a pandemic. And how will you be positioned to add massive value to your clients and to those that you serve? So let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know what questions you have about the BEI and our bootcamp. And if you're going to join a webinar, we're going to post the link to the webinar in the comment feed as well. So if you're thinking about it, we've got a couple of more opportunities this week for you to jump in. We are launching on next week, so we are 1 week away. And if you know that you need some help, you want to be around a group of like-minded people, you want to be able to get systems and information that would speak to you and help you scale your business from people that are experts and that understand the journey because they've walked that journey before you, then what I would say is don't put it off. Register for the next webinar now, and we're going to see you there, and we're going to pour incredible value into you. You'll be glad just to spend the time with us. I guarantee it. So check in, drop us a comment, leave us a post, and we'll get back to you. And then we hope to see you on our next webinar.
Thank you so much. Definitely, you know, as Damien said, the next webinar is Wednesday afternoon, and then we have one Friday, and then we're done, right? This launch is, the doors are closing. We are running this very strategically and intentionally, that who signs up and who has attended the webinar and signs up by Sunday will be a part of this cohort. There won't be any late ads or anything like that. And because we want to give all our effort, all of our attention, and all of our, you know, mentoring and coaching and development, thinking partner, all of that to this class. And if you'll just take yourself back and think about, like, when you went to high school or when you went to college, and you know, you remember the people that you joined with, like who was in your freshman class and you guys graduated together. And even now, like, I've been out of school 30 years, Damien. You know, yes, I hate to admit that publicly, but it's true. I've been out of school 30 years, really over 30 years at this point. And I'm still connected with the class of 85, Word High School, okay? For my work people, if you watch this video, you know, give me a thumbs up. And even though I went to high school with people before and after me, I remember them, but they're not class of 85. There is a relationship, a connection. And so the people who will be a part of this cohort, they will start together, they will finish together, they will graduate together, they will support each other, and we will serve them through this journey. So if you want to be a part of this cohort, and I can tell you right now, we have some awesome, forward thinking. I mean, I'm just so impressed with these entrepreneurs that we have signed up so far. If you want to be a part of this cohort, then your opportunity is winding down. We'd love to have you. And as Dr. Nicole said the other day, we want the people who are serious, not those who are curious, right? We're looking for the serious, because we're investing a lot of time and effort too, and pulling time away from our businesses to help build yours. Correct. So thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. Go to our page. I know Damien has shared this article as well, but read this article, right? Because at the end of the day, the data speaks for itself. I didn't write this. You know, and some of y'all may say the media is, you know, tainted or whatever, but the article says it. Up to 90% of minority and women-owned businesses, it is expected that they were shut out of the Paycheck Protection Program. And then again, I'll say it again, specifically, 95% Black-owned businesses, 91% Latino-owned, 91% Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander, and 75% of Asian-owned businesses stand close to no chance of receiving a PPP loan through a mainstream bank or credit union. So like I said, we don't make this stuff up. There's a reason why you target, and we are targeting those who need our help. So if you want to grow your business, if you want to not be included in that number, reach out and just, again, jump on the webinar. Give us an hour of your time. If you don't think we can help you, that's fine. Again, looking for the serious, not the curious.
Right on. That's our story, and we are sticking to it. Hope to see you on the webinar on Wednesday. The link will be posted in the comments, so please register now. We're here to serve you, and we're looking forward to it. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.